Hello, people of the interwebs. Today we're gonna make Asian turkey meatballs. I'm Chef Cash White, and I'm here today because God delivered me from my circumstances and put me in a place where I can share my love of cooking with you. Guys, if you enjoy what we're doing here, we're having a blast. Make sure you remember to click subscribe down below, leave some comments, let us know what you think. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, or suggestions, we'd love to cook whatever you're thinking we should cook. Let's get rocking and rolling. We're gonna start here with 1 pound of ground turkey. Whenever you're cooking with ground turkey, you gotta remember it's really, really lean. You wanna incorporate more fat somehow, especially if you're gonna make a meatloaf, meatballs, patties, to get it to stay together and to add that flavor. We're gonna do that in the form of an egg here in a second, but we're gonna incorporate some vegetables here within the meatballs in a way we haven't yet. We're gonna actually shred it on a box grater. Okay, so we're gonna shred up some onion, we're gonna shred up some jalapeno, a little bit of garlic, and some fresh ginger to put in our meatballs. It's gonna give it a really nice Asian zing. A lot of global food started with what grows in that region. And what grows along the same latitudinal line all the way around, so distance from the equator, is very similar. So if you look in like South American foods, a lot of Latin foods, they grow a lot of the same vegetables in Southeast Asia because the climate is very similar. So you'll see them use a lot of jalapenos, onions, cilantro, limes and lemons, citrus fruits, things like that in their cooking. They just incorporate it in a different way. And we're gonna try to do that a little bit today as well. So we're gonna start by shredding up about a quarter of an onion. I'm just gonna cut this guy in half, and then I'm gonna cut the end off, take the paper off of it. I'm just gonna hit it on this box grater. Be careful not to catch your knuckles on this thing. All right, you end up with this nice minced onion. With the garlic, I'm just gonna hand mince it. If you guys have some questions or wanna learn how to do some garlic, take a look at our how-to garlic video. Put that guy in there. This is fresh ginger. You've seen it in your local grocer. A lot of people don't know necessarily how to use it. You just break you off a little piece like this. The skin is really, really soft, so you can just scrape it off with a spoon, just like that. Oh, it has a great smell. It's a little spicy, so you wanna make sure that you don't use too much of it. There you go, and I'm gonna actually use my zester for this guy. Get it in there. You don't need a lot. It's very, very, very strong. All right, next thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna add a jalapeno. I'm gonna de-seed this jalapeno because I don't want it that spicy. We have a video on how to do that as well. Look at us. We're all over the place with these videos called How to Peño. All right, we're gonna cut this as tiny as we can. So we're gonna go into a dice. Turn it, cut it in thin strips again. Okay, now I'm gonna throw in about a quarter cup of fresh cilantro. The great thing about making meatballs is you can throw all these things in, mix them up, pop them in the oven, and they come out just, you don't have to be all precise with things. So I'm gonna add 1 tablespoon of soy sauce, 3/4 of a cup of Panko breadcrumbs, and 1 egg. Now comes the fun part. We're gonna get our hands in there, we're gonna mix all this stuff up. Okay, so now that we have our mix ready, what we're gonna do is we're gonna roll it into balls and we're gonna transfer it into a greased baking sheet. To make the portions a little bit more even, I'm gonna use an ice cream scoop. It makes trying to portion these things out a lot easier. I'm gonna scoop it out like this and roll them up, drop them down, very easy, just like this. You have 12 turkey meatballs. Top these guys off with a little black pepper, since I forgot to put it in the recipe. It happens. We have our meatballs ready. We're gonna pop them in the oven. We have it preheated to 400 degrees, and we're gonna flip the meatballs after about 15 minutes. It's gonna take about 30 minutes to cook. Since it's poultry we're dealing with, we need to make sure that the internal temperature hits 165 degrees. Use your thermometer. Okay, so we've got our turkey meatballs in the oven right now. What we're gonna do is we're gonna whip together a little sauce that we're gonna drizzle on top of them when they come out. So what I have here is some soy sauce, about 1 tablespoon. We're gonna pour that in there. What that's gonna do is it's gonna add a little bit of saltiness. Soy sauce is naturally salty and it's very earthy, or umami is kind of one of the phrases that they use. It tends to describe an earthy, almost mushroomy flavor. I'm gonna pour in some hoisin. The best way to think about hoisin is it's almost like it's a little bit sweet and it's a little bit smoky. I'm going to pour about half of a tablespoon of agave nectar in, just for a little sweetness. I like to hit all of the flavor profiles. I'm gonna follow that in with about a teaspoon of sesame oil. Sesame oil adds a smokiness. And then obviously we're gonna add some chili garlic paste. One of my favorite things. It's very, very chili, very, very garlic. We're gonna follow that up with a little bit of lemon juice. We're just gonna whisk that together, and that's gonna make a nice drizzle for our meatballs. Okay, so we cooked them for 30 minutes. At 15 minutes, I reached in and flipped them all over. But after the second stint of 15 minutes, I checked the temperature. We hit 165 degrees core temperature, which is exactly where we want it to be. I'm gonna chop up a little garnish to go on there by thinly slicing some green onions. And we're gonna give a little sauce drizzle. A little sauce drizzle on top. Top it off with our green onions. All right, so there you go. That's our Asian turkey meatballs. Amazing, healthy, flavorful, exactly what you want. Thank you guys for watching. And remember the key thing here, keep the faith, enjoy the food. Love you guys. Good night.